This is WPTV.
BetterHelp is not what they are saying it is. There's a lot of more information and a lot of more crazy things that I don't want to bring up, but there's a lot of suspicious activity, to say the least.
YouTube has never been a place lacking for controversy, from conventions to documentaries to the multiple times we've talked about the adpocalypse. But this week, it's a little different. Recently, 3 prominent YouTube personalities have been sponsored by the service BetterHelp, which sought to bring mental health services through the internet. However, due to fan outrage, BetterHelp was investigated and let go by Philip DeFranco's Rogue Rocket. Here to talk about the controversy today with me is Jay, Michele, and Zach. Thank you guys for being here to talk about this with me. Jay, I want to start off with you. What happened with the BetterHelp service that made it so adverse in the reaction that happened?
I think the biggest thing was they were promising that the help was licensed when it actually wasn't, and I feel like that was the biggest thing.
So if it was something like a hotline service that isn't exactly licensed, it's volunteers, it wouldn't have been as damaging?
Right. The thing is that they said it was licensed. If they said that this is just unlicensed help, we're willing to talk with you, we're willing to volunteer our time, that's one thing. But they're saying that they're licensed professionals, and that's the big problem, lying.
So Zach, some of the biggest backlash was that it was being propped up by these prominent personalities that have some younger audiences, like Shane Dawson has a much younger audience. Is that something that is on the YouTuber or on the company that this is their fault?
I mean, to an extent, I guess it would be on the YouTuber in the sense of that you need to be aware of what you're advertising. You know, like you can't put this as an ad where you know you have a younger audience and then not be aware of what you're going to be broadcasting to them. I mean, you're showing them the content, so you need to be aware of what that content is. But it also obviously is on the company itself, in that with all this false advertising, the issues with the not having licenses and all that, like you can't put that out there for young, impressionable people who may truly be searching for help with their mental health issues.
Michele, what do you think of all this? What's your opinion on things so far?
I mean, it's really annoying. It's really messed up. I think both parties are at fault. Like, BetterHelp should have followed up on their promises. Like, it's messed up not to have licensed professionals. Also, like, the whole hotline debate is just messed up in itself, because a hotline, people volunteer their time and it's free. Here they're charging $269 a month.
Yeah.
And these YouTubers are making $200 off of every person that signs up under their name, and they're exploiting mental illness, which is just a PR disaster and just a moral disaster on its own.
So I'll stick with you. What in the future, because obviously people have cut back on their sponsorship with BetterHelp for now, but I'm sure more services like this will come up in the future as we keep going. Do you think this requires YouTubers to look into every service that sponsors them these days?
Absolutely. I don't know why they don't in the first place. I mean, as a YouTuber, you have to realize that your audience, especially like with cases of Shane Dawson, where your audience is like 14-year-olds, they're impressionable. They're not going to be the ones that read the fine print. So you should, and then you should decide, oh, maybe this isn't the best thing morally to go with.
So Jay, I'll go to you with this one. Shane recently has been switching up the content of his channel to be more of a documentary style series, where he exposed things like TanaCon and like these back alley discussions in YouTube, and then he's part of one himself. Do you think this damages his own reputation and other YouTubers' reputations that were signed with this service?
I do think it damages his reputation, for sure. But I guess the thing for me is that I don't really believe that all these YouTubers should get that much crap, because I don't think they knowingly knew that it wasn't licensed and it was a big sham and stuff. I think they honestly believed that this was supposed to help their audience. I guess.
Yeah. Zach, so Philip DeFranco heard about this from his fans, went out, did an investigation, had an interview with the CEO of BetterHelp, then decided that he couldn't call it a scam, but then ended his relationship with it. Where does that make you feel? Is this a scam because he did stop his money going there?
I mean, he certainly didn't want to cause a potential lawsuit or something, I believe, cause any major issues with the company itself. But I do think that it is a scam to an extent. I mean, you're putting false advertising out there. You're advertising something as it's not, and that is exactly what it is, a scam. So although he may not have officially said, like, oh, this is a scam, don't do it, the fact that he dissolved ties with BetterHelp shows that not everything is fitting into place there.
Okay. Michele, you're a resident PR expert in this field. Did he do the right thing for him and his company by immediately ending the relationship, or should he have done something differently in the way that he ended his relationship with them?
I mean, technically, yes. Phil DeFranco is saving his brand in this situation, but it goes back to he was negligent. He should have read the fine print. You're a YouTuber. You make so much money. The least that you can do is sit down for 5 minutes and instead of being like, this is a great idea, this is going to help people, look more into it. So yeah, it did help his reputation, but at the same time, people with brains will realize that he's probably doing it as a strategic move.
Zach, I would give this question to you. So as we said, BetterHelp was given so that people that didn't have access to therapists and didn't have access to these services could get them through the internet. Is this something that you would like to see continue in the future, or something that you would say therapy doesn't have a place online?
Oh, I think the idea of online therapy is a great one. I think it's a tool that many people can use if they don't have health care, if they're simply busy and can't make time to go to a physical therapist, because that is a time-demanding endeavor. And it allows you to seek help with someone if you don't feel comfortable seeing someone in person, but it needs to be done properly. It needs to be done with the right people. It needs to be advertised as what it truly is with clinically licensed therapists, and you need to make sure that at the end of the day, your clients are getting what they need and are not being potentially scammed or abused for their own mental health issues.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Well, I'm sure we can talk about this all day, but unfortunately that is all the time we have. But don't go anywhere, because we get spooky on Lights, Camera, Action coming up next.